Hi, I'm Dr. Straile. The Show method is revolutionizing bioenergetics, energy medicine, and the wellness space in general. Did you know that every day the average person eats between 3 to 5 pounds of food, consumes a gallon of fluids, and inhales 2,400 gallons of air every day? How are these basic life functions dealt with? All this stuff is processed inside our bodies by our genome. The genome is the totality of all genes, hundreds of thousands of them. The cells and the genes within those cells have to communicate with each other to coordinate this monstrous task. The resulting cell signaling of the 100 trillion cells constitutes this energy everyone is talking about. The ancient Chinese called it Qi energy. In the West, we like to call it life force. The Show method is a unique bioenergetic technique I have developed over the past 30 years, fundamentally realizing that life happens at the interface of the environment and the DNA. The environment being food, drink, toxins, germs, and so on. The DNA is the code of life, which, amongst many other functions, contains the knowledge on how to deal with all these environmental demands. Everything that the body has to deal with, from food to viruses to any type of stress, all of it's functionally managed and dealt with through the cells and our genes within those cells. Let's look at food again. Dozens of enzymes have to be made by specific genes within the DNA. The energy of each of these nutrients contained within these foods turn on the respective genes to digest that food item and activate the nutrients contained in that food. How does this exactly happen? Is there a gene for apple? No. Is there a gene for pasta? No. Is there a gene for peanuts? Nope. Is there a gene for milk? No, there are no such genes. Why? Because there are no enzymes for these food items as a whole. In the case of milk, for example, there is a gene for lactose, the sugar in milk, and that gene encodes the enzyme lactase, which breaks down lactose. If that gene does not turn on promptly upon ingestion of dairy products, one experiences symptoms of lactose intolerance. There are other nutrients in milk such as fat, whey, the protein, and calcium, the macromineral, all of which have additional genes associated with their metabolism. The Show method, which is embedded in the allergen profile of the IMATE system, features this kind of detail. This allows us to resonate with specific genes in order to harmonize their expression and improve their function. The gene function being the production of the associated enzymes and metabolic factors, which then digest, absorb, and activate the much needed nutrients from the food intake. The frequencies resonating at that interface of life are subtle energies. One can work with vials initially, but in a busy practice, the IMATE biofeedback system provides a wonderful technological solution to manage the complexity and detail of the DNA and the process of life itself. We are now talking about epigenetics, the science of functional genomics. We now can actually change epigenetic expression. This is a power and fascinating bioenergetic phenomenon, changing epigenetic expression through precise, subtle bioenergetic frequencies. The Show method shows great results in desensitizing food intolerances, allergies, including environmental sensitivities. The Show method has shown great results in reducing inflammation, including episodes of back pain. Inflammation can affect any of the over 200 tissue types of the body. This kind of clinical thinking can identify the thousands of inflammatory triggers resulting from quirks within our hundreds of thousands of genes. Quirks such as mutations and gene variants. Many of these genetic variants and mutations are causative part of inflammation and autoimmune conditions. And we can functionally change the expression of these variants and mutations. Besides harmonizing the metabolism, the Show method also teaches how to communicate with the immune system precisely and focus on particular pathogens such as viruses in real time, meaning focusing the immune system on particular pathogens. Please don't let the complexity of life discourage you. It sounds complicated, but it's very doable, and the software in particular helps to break it down into the functional components, down to the genes. Anyone can learn the Show method, and the IMATE system is an amazing tool to operate at the bioenergetic level of life. I invite you to read my book, 1000 Shades of Pink, which illustrates the clinical application of the Show method on some 20 entertaining cases with medical diagnoses.